Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, we're back, baby. We're back on the ball. And today, we are looking at the top performing map of the moment. But before we talk about that, let's first of all say thank you to everybody who wished me a very nice holiday. And I say to you, I didn't have a holiday. I was working harder on the channel this last week than I do normally. But not recording WhatsMap has given me the time to get some stuff in place. And some stuff that's been on the back burner is now on the front burner. What you're looking at now, if you haven't seen it already, is the intro to my new Let's Play, which is available on the channel right now, called The Island. It's going to be a Let's Play city. It's a city build. You've been screaming, Bonbon, can we have a city build for too long? And it's been 2 years since I tried doing one, and I figured let's have a go with a Bonbon slant, of course, on Bonbon Island. So yes, that is now on the channel. Obviously, if you haven't subscribed already, why haven't you? You've got every reason to now. Now, today's map, which is top of the workshop, we will be reviewing immediately after I put in a correction. It's a map I think you're going to like. You can probably recognise the location already. It has got some talking points. But the main talking point to start the show is me being a klutz. Yes, those of you that were here on the Friday before the WhatsMap holiday will have seen me review Springtime in the Valley by quirkygeekgirl. And right from the off, I said, I'm so sorry I didn't activate Park Life DLC. I didn't think it would make a huge difference to the map as a whole, and it doesn't make a huge difference to the map as a whole, but it does make some difference to, well, this little lovely park area in the middle. This park area in the middle makes a whole lot more sense now. It really does. I suspected it might, which is why I promised I'd come back and have a look at this little area with Park Life active. It's a very pretty area. It's actually a very pretty map. Loads of buildable spaces and loads of interesting colourful fields to work around as well. There's I think the extra half a star I gave for aesthetics was definitely value for it, looking at the just a little bit of difference that this is a feature area right in the middle of the map. Why shouldn't this be worth half an extra star with all the bits and bobs included? So thanks very much for that, Quirky Geek Girl. The link to that map is in today's description, and of course if you want to see the full review, that was a Friday of last week. That's 2 shows ago. Okay, with last week, the week before last, because anyway, if we pull the camera back, I'll say the next thing we're going to do will be a daily reminder, and then I think we'll jump straight into the review. What do you think to that? That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people, and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is San Francisco, just in case you didn't recognise it, by DirtyH. DirtyH is a YouTuber. This is for their new series, their new city build. And I would say it falls into the category of YouTuber map. Regulars to the show will know exactly what I'm saying there. There's your start square. Looks very usable indeed. Terrain heights are perfectly fine as well. I mean, it's obviously realistic looking, I would say. Resources, we're using oil for a change in biome for the hilltops. I wouldn't be drilling for oil on the mountaintops if I was you. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, we have a range of fishies in big bold blocks, so you should be able to do some good fishing. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? There are a few things, 42 things according to the one-click collection link there. We'll be using a theme mix, so Theme Mixer 2 today, and it's a good theme mix, a good nice little written description there as well. Now, some of the things on this list I would say aren't essential. Yes, we've got the Bay Bridge and the Golden Bridge networks. I would definitely highly recommend those, as with a lot of the networking. But there are a couple of mods down here that I noticed that aren't strictly needed. I can't remember which ones they were. They'll pop out in a moment. Oh yeah, Surface Painter. You can't do anything with Surface Painter in the map editor. But yeah, mostly pretty fine. Also, we've got the Chiaroscuro LUT, and the one that automatically loads with the theme mix is relight neutral. So given it's part of the theme mix, that's the one I've gone with. So yes, technically speaking, there's at least 2 things on that list you don't strictly need. So bring that list down by 2. There might be 1 or 2 extra bobs and bits as well. So down to ground level. We're going to follow in. This is the routes that will come in and go over the Bay Bridge. So a few of you may recognise. And there's something to be said about the layout of the highways here, which I'll get into the second half of the show. Something very specific about me personally and the layout of the highways. Now, it's a YouTuber map. And usually with YouTubers, not me, because I'm anal perfectionist when it comes to map making. When I make a mistake, whatever. But these guys, they're saying, look, it's all about my series. I'm going to correct any glitchy bits and fine-tune things during the series. And DirtyH, if you've not seen their actual shows, definitely worth checking out. I'll link them into the description as well. A little bit of a janky going on there, and a little bit of glitching between the 2 highways. I'm not going to point out every little bit of glitching on the highways for reasons that the whole show will just be wasted on me going, oh, tiny little janky here. There's a little bit of janky coming up here, but we're going to skim over that. So yes, it's definitely a strong creator, DirtyH, and this map has been made specifically for their series, and they're sharing it so their subscribers can play along too if they like. And so there's going to be bits and bobs. What I'm going to try and do is, the first half of the show on the whole, I'm going to try and make this map look as nice as it can, and then the second half we'll do the nitpicking. The nitpicking is going to make the map look a lot worse than it is. The map is actually, honestly, perfectly fine. I would happily play this one, and the nitpicking is very much nitpicking. A couple of nitpicks are quite glaring ones, and ones that will deserve a hit in the points in the final scores, and rightly so. There's no argument on a couple of them, to be honest with you, but some of it is like the little bit of glitching between the roads here. Surface Painter has been recommended, so Surface Painter, colour that in with Surface Painter and you're good to go. So the recommendation for Surface Painter being there makes me think, do you know what? I think DirtyH knows there's a little bit of a glitching going on and probably will need polishing out. In terms of the trees, there's a little bit of spam tree painting here and there, but nothing centre to the map. The 1 or 2 bits that I know, I'm going to skim over them. I'm mentioning it now because I'm skimming over it. The 1 or 2 bits that aren't quite up to scratch are towards the edge of the map, which, let's face it, isn't going to be used much on the San Francisco build. We've got the NAR, North American whatever roads here, and a very lovely tunnel network. A little bit of glitching of the terrain coming through on the underside of the highway there, which you've got to be at a specific angle to see. But actually, I think, isn't that Treasure Island? I'm sure that's Treasure Island there. They a big man-made island going on and stuff. Yes, when they built the Bay Bridge. And into Start Square. And now the Start Square, it's perfectly lovely. Look at this perfectly lovely bit of land. Lots of highways all coming in from the same direction. Oh, we've got a pillar. I just spotted. We've got a pillar on the road. That's an oopsie. And then we head along towards the intersections over here. So yeah, you've got 2 highways coming from the south into San Francisco, and the one over the Golden Gate Bridge, which we'll check out in the second half of the show. So don't think we're missing the Golden Gate. We will be checking out the Golden Gate Bridge a little bit later on as well. Blue Mantle, maybe? Oh, no. Now, there's a pleasant surprise, isn't it? And, there's a hint of Blue Mantle over here. That is just road alignment from a distance. The closer you get in, it doesn't show so much. But again, those roads could be better aligned and probably should be. A little bit of shark's teeth going on there because we're elevated going through at ground level, just cutting through the rise in the land there. So yes, then we have the 2 highways that are heading out this way. Now, all the traffic coming into Start Square will be coming up this route. Because although we've come across the Bay Bridge, there's nothing connecting the Bay Bridge, these 2 highways, yep. There's nothing connecting the Bay Bridge in this direction in terms of off-ramps. So you're possibly going to want to do some of those yourself as you get into the build. But certainly in terms of connections, we have some connections. A little bit of an overlap on these two highways here. The poor trucks and whatever going down the middle lane. Look, they've got two other lanes to move into, and they all want to crash into the central median there. Ooch, that's going to be a couple of layers off the paint job, I feel. And then heading down towards the edge of the map. So, well, we've seen most of the highways. Like I say, the Golden Gate Highway we'll check out in the second half of the show. What about rail connections, you're thinking? You've not seen any? Well, I'll tell you, we do have rail connections on this map. Although, they're just there for if you want to use them. Probably for the modders to be able to grab hold of. Because they are right off at the edge of the map where you're not going to be able to get hold of them without using the 81 tile mod or going into the map editor and bringing them in yourself. So I don't suppose they're meant to be used. I don't know if there's rail connections into San Francisco specifically, but we have one on the edge of the map here and one right back where we started, all the way over there in that kind of area there. Anyway, let's take that intermission. We'll come back and check out all the fun bits in the second half of the show.
Do all your cities end up looking like ugly, lumpy grids? Would you like to evolve a more organic, natural-style city? Then check out BonBonB's Breaking the Grid playlist. Click the I button now.
And so back to San Francisco by DirtyH and the shipping routes, which surprised me in more than one way, actually. First of all, we have this shipping route, and we've got the Bay Bridge, which will allow shipping to go right through it, except for it doesn't. We're just going to loop back, double back the way that we came there. Then we have a second shipping route coming in from the other direction, which is also going to double back. And where's that loop go off to over there you just saw on the left? The answer is it just loops back onto here. And this is in the bay, okay? This is out into the Pacific, where all the shipping's going to come from, and we have no shipping routes out here in the Pacific. I don't understand. I'm a little bit confused. We do have a couple of air routes as well there if you want them. Water flow, if you want vanilla base game style water flow, we have water flow running along the edge of the start square. It's strong enough to not be a problem, and so for base game players wanting to play a San Francisco build, I think you're going to be okay in terms of that. For those of you that want the water flow, of course. And so the map as a whole looks just like the San Francisco area. It's not a one-to-one scale though, and so I think I probably would have liked a little bit more of the buildable area on that San Francisco peninsula there. I'd like it just maybe 50% bigger. Might be just a little bit too small. Do like the way that the trees have been painted along, in general, along the side of the hills there. Let me take you over the hills, the hills and the mountains over here. And yeah, so what we have here is nobody's going to be building over here, so I don't mind too much. It's a bit bare. Tree painting in the hills is a little bit spammed in places, but it's adequate for what's needed there. And it's done to a pretty good standard along the bit over here, which is completely visible, so you'd want it to be pretty visible as well. Then we get down to the buildable areas over here. You'll see digitization in the land, where we've gone from the height map and we haven't completely smoothed it out. You can just see those digital lines there as well. So yes, there's some polishing that could be done here and there. In fact, there's a clearer mark over this side. This hill here, very clearly in the state of digital form as well. So yeah, smoothing brush along there will soften everything very nicely, and it'll just make for a slightly better aesthetic. Now this lump of rock here is Alcatraz. Whether you're going to build a prison on there is up to you. It does look like it could do with a little bit more space, which is why everything could be just a little bit larger. Now I thought there would be a little bit more problem with water glitching on this map when I saw this bit of glitching on these vanilla rocks, but this is the only one I could find, so actually, yeah, score there. Also, while we're on, this is Treasure Island, I'm sure it's Treasure Island, I think it's Treasure Island from memory. Looks good from this side. When we go around the other side, oh hang on, let me just show you the detailing. There, centerpiece, good work. Bay Bridge, looks amazing, all good. We come around here though, we've got a little bit of foliage glitching on the underside of the highway under here, which I find absolutely hilarious. In they go. Can we have another car, just so we can get a better view? And hold the camera still. Here we come. There she goes. Ah, it's so funny that one. So much grass that it's filled the thing up completely. Over here we've got a slightly glitching through pillar, and this is in that start square intersection area where we didn't have any blue mantle. Remember, we didn't have any blue mantle under the road over here. Okay, hold your breath. It's all over this side. Ouch. That's a big ouch. On top of that, though, on top of that, we come over this side. We've got a big old splash of blue mantle on this side as well. I managed to hide that with some very clever camera work on the way in. I'm very proud of my camera work on today's show. On the whole, considering I do everything freehand and none of this cinematic malarkey, I don't have time. Those of you that want the cinematics, do you know how long those take to do over a pre-rehearsed show like this, where, yeah, I have to take a specific route? Like this route, which is a route that's going to bring us down to the Golden Gate Bridge. I promise you we're coming this way, so this is coming in from the north. Probably the most iconic of the entrances into the city. I say iconic as somebody from Europe who's never been to San Francisco. Although I have, sort of, in GeoGuessr. And we talk very briefly about GeoGuessr later on, but I actually had a GeoGuessr guess. Ooh. There we go, there's a little dip into the tunnels there. I had a little GeoGuessr guess, which was actually in San Francisco. It was very clearly San Francisco. But, recognisably, I can find the same location on today's map. We have over here a little bit of glitching. This is the Golden Gate Bridge. Needs weeding. Oh, sorry. I like finding these little... Remember, this is all meant to be fixed during the city build on the show itself once DirtyH gets going. So let's not criticise too much, although, like I say, I think I would have liked it just be a little bit more polished here and there. And then these roads head down into, well, just north of the start square. Very easy to get started over here with traffic coming in from this direction too. We do have another big old chunk of blue mantle to deal with, though. There's another ouchie. They're big ouchies. Blue mantles are a huge ouchie because you're literally ripping the map apart to do it. Now, this bit of flooding here is here to stay permanently. It's slightly below sea level, so you'll want to bring that height up a little bit because it's never going to dry up there. And whilst we're here, while we're over here, there's that other little bit of rail that I promised you, and there's that little bit of flooding. Oops, it's good to be back. Let's bring the camera down here, hide it behind this hill. I'm not here. I'm not here. Okay, let's head back to the start square. Let me show you that thing on GeoGuessr. So back to the start square over here. We've got these highways coming in from the south. And when I was playing GeoGuessr, it was this highway here, and I think it was on this bit of curvature just before it actually enters the grid of the city, because that then ends up at a T-junction at the end, that bit of road. And yeah, I recognise it from playing GeoGuessr. So all credit to Dirty Harry, Dirty Harry, DirtyH. Sorry, Clint. Oh my goodness me. Yes. Who's out of practice with what map? I am out of practice with what map. Let's do the asset of the day, shall we? Zarrix isn't out of practice, not with the Italian corner 2x2D Rome. This, again, is top quality work from, I would say, I said it in the chart show. I figure that Zarrix is the creator of the year so far. From all the work that I've seen, they're the standout creator. Such top quality work from them. Not that there aren't other great creators, but if you had to pick one this year, I think I would pick Zarrix. Still 4 months to go. Time for everybody else to up their game, huh? Factoids, because factoids. In the centre of the sun, the temperature can be as high as 20 million degrees centigrade. Or is it Celsius? Anyway, 20 million. How do they know? How could they possibly know? Are they just guessing, aren't they? I mean, send something in there. It's going to melt. 20 million degrees. It's almost as hot as me. Let's move on. Italian corner 2x2D, Rome by Zarrix. Today's asset of the day. Right, let's peel back and find a place to get a screenshot. There must be an iconic location around here we can use. How about back to the island? I think about there. Yes. What do you think of today's map? Let's get these votes out there. Please vote today on the map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. Is it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10? Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. We need more votes. Come on. Everybody's slacking. Right. What do I think of today's map? Aesthetically, I certainly get the right feel. I think the theme mix works nicely. Nice feel for the area. It certainly looks like the area in terms of the top down. It's lacking the polish, but it's not an unattractive map in any shape. I'm going to go slightly above middle 3 because I feel it needs more polish, and I'm sure that will come in the actual YouTube series, so watch out for that one. Detailing. Yeah, there's some good stuff. I mean, the bridges are done very nicely, but there's a lot of niggly bits and lots of blue mantle. I've got to go high 2. The blue mantle's a killer. Gameplay. I think if you want to do a not a 1-to-1 scale build of San Francisco, I think this is good to go. Actually, I actually feel this one. I still like a bit more playable area, but I'm gonna go low 4. I'm gonna go 4 stars, low 4. San Francisco by DirtyH. I think this is a very solid YouTuber map. Again, it'd be interesting to see how they do their take on such a small area of San Francisco to play with, but I'm sure it'll come out fine. I'm sure it'll come out fine. A quick shout out to all the patrons over on Patreon. Thank you very much, BonBon buddies. Yes, it's September. September. Never mind. Yes, use the words of the day to prove that you are not married. And I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What Map series. Thanks for watching.